There is one thing that everyone has been saying for the last 10 years. China is the new superpower, the only country that can challenge America, the world's second largest economy, the world's third largest army. Everyone says these things, but no one asks the real question. How did China really become a superpower? Long ago, this part of the map was the economic superpower of the world. They invented the compass, the printing press, paper, and even gunpowder. They built big ships and put them to sea. They ruled the Silk Road, the route of money. China and its next-door neighbor, India. These two countries were the center of the global economy. But in the 1800s, other players came to the table. At the other end of the map, in Europe and America, a great revolution took place. The Industrial Revolution. Science developed, machines were invented, trains and cars were built. Other new weapons were discovered. I always tell you that when a country becomes powerful, the first thing it looks at is the map. These countries did the same and expanded their sphere of influence. They went so far on the map that they even knocked on the door of China, which was once a superpower. They even asked for land from it. That's how this autonomous place you now know as Hong Kong was given to Britain. There was one thing China missed: the Industrial Revolution. When it missed this revolution, China went into decline. A century later, Japan knocked on China's door. China was now a poor country that could be invaded by foreigners. At the end of a war, the winning country determines what happens to the money. The same thing happened after the Second World War. Western countries designed a new financial system. Capitalism. This new system included higher taxes. It said it would lift millions of people out of poverty. But it was capitalism after all. This system started out saying it would save the poor, but it gradually ate itself. The reach of capitalism was now limitless. Let me tell you about capitalism, because it's very short. This circle is a company and the circles around it are investors. This center circle has only one goal: to grow more and make more and more money for its investors. Wait a second, you don't realize how ruthless this is. Let's take a quote from Milton Friedman, the founder of this system. The social responsibility of a business is to increase its profits. He didn't give a damn about anything else, whatever you do, as long as you increase your profits, which could include destroying the world, whatever you do. Okay, you think you're watching the wrong video. I know the title said China. Wait calmly, I'm going to connect it all to China. While America was experiencing capitalism, China turned to a completely different philosophy. This man you see here, Mao Zedong, led China to the communist system. By the 1970s, poverty was commonplace for the Chinese people. The kingdom that had once ruled world trade was literally crushed. We all go through bad times in our lives, and remember this: things can change in an instant, just like China. In the 1970s, China introduced a new character into the game, Deng Xiaoping. This man, whose name I can't say, promised to reverse 200 years of humiliation and become a superpower again. He opened a map on his desk and looked around, just like we do. South Korea, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, these were China's neighbors that had joined the capitalist economy. And they were all developing. Deng Xiaoping organized a visit to Singapore, and he watched how trade was done, and after that, he said, "The Maoist economic doctrine is over, and China will create a new version of capitalism." But remember, China is a communist country. Only one party runs the whole country, and you can't do everything you want to do right away. So Deng Xiaoping turned to a tiny place on the map, Shenzhen, the neighbor of capitalist Hong Kong. He declared it a special economic zone and allowed foreign capitalist companies to invest there. China was still communist, but now it had some capitalist features. What happened next was probably the most interesting economic miracle in the world. This tiny little special zone used to be fishing. Now it's a huge metropolis of 10 million people. The average income went from $300 a year to $30,000 a year. Let's go back to what Friedman said. Every company that invested here increased its profits. More companies came, they increased their profits too. And so China became the factory of the world. And eventually it became the second largest economy in the world. Look carefully at this graph. The average money earned by the world has fallen, while China's has always risen. Okay, let's stop now. You all thought this story was a success story. But do you know what we have lost? There is another side to this story that we need to talk about. a dark side. Look carefully at this graph because you and your family are in it. Economists call it the elephant graph. It is very clear why they call it that. I have talked to many of my friends who are economics graduates to understand this graph, and now I will explain it for you in detail. And you will be able to understand the cruelest graph you can see in the world. The axis at the bottom shows the slices of people in the world, the 10% who earn the least money, and the 0.001% who earn the most money. The axis on the left shows the percentage increase in their earnings. People who 35 years ago earned the least money in the world now earn 75% more. The poorest 30% of the world now earn more money. So far, so good. We are slowly moving to the dark side. The 60% of the world, and I think most of the people watching are included here, your earnings have never increased. You have worked for years and years, but you have always been below 1%. In fact, you should have earned much more money. So why didn't you earn? Because the 1% made much more money than everybody else. A lot of the work you had to do was sent to China because it was cheaper. China paid very little to the workers, its own people. As the cost of production fell, the companies won. And we lost. Only 0.001% won. Today, many brands around the world outsource their production to China. China is a country that is constantly being criticized for violating workers' rights. There are reports that people here work 16-hour days in factories, and if they speak out, they are fired without compensation. You have seen it all the time on the internet. There are news like China built a building in one day. China built a railroad in one day. China can do this because it doesn't care about the workers who work there. Yes, China is a superpower again, just like it was centuries ago. China's economic graph is always high because there are millions of people underneath it.